Hey, Patriots Nation. We're back with another exclusive update on everything happening in New England. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so you never miss any breaking Patriots news. In the last few days, a wild storm of whispers has been echoing through fan forums, backstage conversations, locker room speculation, and those mysterious insider leaks that seem to appear out of absolutely nowhere. And right at the center of this entire whirlwind sits none other than Maye, the young quarterback who has been carrying both hope and controversy on his shoulders since stepping into the New England Patriots ecosystem. The rumor spreading like wildfire claims that Maye dropped a bomb during a private conversation, something along the lines of "nobody wants him back," sparking instant debate and fueling hours of online chaos. The comment, vague but incredibly explosive, left fans wondering who exactly the him refers to and why such a dramatic sentiment will be circulating behind closed doors. No matter how hard people try to trace the origins, the story only grows with each retelling, giving the entire situation that deliciously messy energy that fans simply cannot resist. Add to that the natural tension that follows any quarterback trying to establish himself in a franchise rebuilding its identity, and suddenly the whole rumor becomes a perfect recipe for speculation, overanalysis, and endless late-night debates among Patriots faithful and critics alike. As the chatter grows louder, many supporters have begun dissecting Maye's supposed remark with an almost forensic intensity, trying to determine whether it was a genuine slip of frustration, a misunderstood snippet, or perhaps something taken entirely out of context and inflated by online noise. Discussions about leadership in the Patriots locker room have been swirling for quite some time, with fans and analysts alike questioning who will take charge emotionally and strategically as the franchise transitions into a new era. Maye, being the face of this transitional moment, naturally becomes the focal point of every little ripple of drama, whether he asked for that spotlight or not. Fans who admire his confidence say that the rumored comment shows fire, determination, and a refusal to settle for mediocrity. Critics, on the other hand, argue that if he indeed said something so sharp, it might reveal tension simmering beneath the surface. But the truth is that nobody outside the inner circle knows exactly what was said or what prompted the conversation, leaving the rumor dangling in midair like a spark waiting to ignite something bigger. Still, that sense of mystery is exactly what keeps everyone glued to the unfolding narrative, hungry for whatever twist might come next. Although the rumor continues to dominate the online space, insiders are whispering that the Real story might be far more complex than a single explosive phrase. Some say the comment was part of a larger emotional moment shared among teammates, perhaps reflecting the intense pressure building around the team's ongoing identity shift. Others speculate that Maye might not have been referring to a specific player at all, but instead to a broader feeling in the locker room regarding past leadership structures that no longer serve the current direction. Of course, without any confirmation from coaches or players, every assumption becomes its own mini-theory, gaining traction depending on which faction of the fanbase supports it. What makes this entire situation so fascinating is how it illustrates the hunger for narrative during transitional periods. The Patriots fanbase is desperate for clarity, connection, and a sense of future direction, and any hint of conflict or boldness becomes amplified into epic proportions. Whether the comment was frustration, motivation, or misinterpretation, its ripple effect cannot be denied. Every sports channel, podcast, and reaction hub is dissecting it frame by frame, word by word, breath by breath, turning this rumor into one of the most intriguing storylines unfolding right now. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, the Patriots organization maintains its classic stone-faced silence, giving fans absolutely nothing to latch onto except speculation and instinct. This silence, ironically, only adds more fuel to the fire, as people assume that if the rumor had been completely baseless, someone would have stepped forward to dismiss it instantly. Maye himself, known for being measured and composed, has not publicly addressed the alleged comment, which opens yet another door for interpretation. Some believe he is intentionally staying quiet to avoid giving the rumor more weight, while others think his silence is strategic, allowing the story to swirl without directly implicating him. Fans have begun flooding social media with theories, memes, dramatic voiceover clips, and animated reenactments, trying to guess what truly happened behind those closed doors. It is the perfect example of how a single whispered phrase can evolve into a full-blown narrative monster once the online world gets its hands on it. And as the speculation snowballs, every tiny gesture and micro-expression from players becomes a clue, turning the entire rumor into a multi-layered detective case that nobody asked for, but everybody secretly enjoys following. In the midst of all this, former players and analysts have chimed in, offering their own interpretations and experiences of locker room dynamics during times of transition. Many have emphasized that intense emotions are nothing new when a franchise is rebuilding, and that statements which sound harsh might actually be rooted in passion and commitment to excellence. This perspective adds nuance to the rumor, suggesting that if Maye did make such a dramatic comment, it might reflect growing pains rather than hostility. Still, the public loves a good dramatic headline, and the phrase, "nobody wants him back," has a poetic punch that makes it perfect for sensational debate. Analysts have begun dissecting the psychological pressure placed on young quarterbacks, especially those stepping into legendary franchises trying to reclaim former glory. The tension between expectation and performance often drives players into raw, emotional exchanges that outsiders interpret differently. With Maye's name attached to this rumor, the entire situation becomes a symbolic moment representing both the weight of leadership and the chaotic nature of sports culture. Fans end up torn between protecting their quarterback and wanting the full truth, creating a strangely passionate tug-of-war in public opinion. As this first wave of speculation continues to roll through every corner of the sports world, one thing becomes clear. The rumor has already evolved beyond its original form, transforming into something much bigger than a simple whispered comment. It now represents the uncertainty surrounding the Patriots' evolving identity and the pressure placed on Maye as he attempts to guide the franchise toward a new horizon. Whether the comment was frustration, miscommunication, or pure fiction, it has become an emotional symbol for fans searching for direction and stability. And while nobody outside the inner circle knows what truly happened, the imagination of the public has taken over, spinning theories, counter-theories, and entire fictional timelines explaining every possible interpretation. This story, like many rumors before it, shows how sports culture thrives on anticipation and mystery, feeding on each new twist and nuance. Maye, whether he intended to or not, now finds himself at the heart of a narrative that will likely continue to evolve for weeks, if not longer. And that marks the perfect point to shift into the second part of this unfolding rumor, where the emotional energy intensifies even further and the stakes begin to feel even heavier. The second wave of the rumor has taken on a completely different tone, shifting away from raw speculation and moving into something deeper, almost psychological, as fans start examining the emotional fabric surrounding Maye's journey. What initially sounded like an impulsive remark now carries a broader symbolic meaning for supporters who see him as the new anchor of a franchise desperately seeking stability. Conversations online have begun to highlight how a young quarterback stepping into such a monumental role might occasionally let a sharp comment slip in a moment of vulnerability or tension. And because fans are already emotionally invested in his success, the rumor starts to feel like part of a larger narrative arc that everyone is watching unfold in real time. The phrase, "nobody wants him back," transforms from a controversial jab into a reflection of unresolved chapters in the team's evolution, chapters that fans desperately want clarity on. In this environment of uncertainty, every whispered detail becomes a clue, every half sentence becomes a puzzle piece, and every expression from Maye becomes a potential revelation about what he truly feels behind the scenes. With each passing hour, the rumor grows richer in emotional interpretation, becoming a story that fans cannot help but internalize and explore. As the narrative expands, fans have turned toward analyzing relationships within the organization, discussing how trust is built between a quarterback and the staff guiding his development. Some fans speculate that the rumored comment was less about specific individuals and more about the cultural shift happening within the franchise. When a team transitions from one era into another, especially after a legendary dynasty, echoes of the past can linger in the hallways, creating emotional ghosts that influence everything from strategy to morale. If Drake may indeed voice frustration, it may have been directed at these lingering shadows rather than a particular person. Fans have begun to craft entire versions of the story where the comment represents a moment of awakening, a bold declaration that the team must let go of old patterns to fully embrace its new identity. And because speculation thrives on emotional depth, this interpretation resonates with many, giving the rumor a strangely inspiring twist. It becomes less a moment of conflict and more a moment of transformation, suggesting that Drake might be stepping into a leadership role faster and more assertively than anyone expected. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Your support helps us bring you the latest updates on the New England Patriots. And of course, drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from Patriots fans. At the same time, fans have begun to question what this rumor means for the future, not just for Drake, but for the entire organization. If the comment reflects tension within the team, supporters wonder whether changes behind the scenes might be on the horizon. If it was taken out of context, they hope leadership will provide unity and stability to ensure it does not brew unnecessary conflict. Some fans have even suggested that the rumor might galvanize the team, pushing players to address emotional issues and strengthen their internal communication. Others think it might serve as a wake-up call, a sign that the franchise must confront unresolved dynamics that have lingered through multiple seasons. Across all these theories, one theme remains constant: the fascination with how a single phrase can hold tremendous emotional power in a sports culture hungry for compelling storylines. The Patriots have always been a franchise that inspires intense loyalty and intense scrutiny, and with Drake May positioned as a symbol of renewal, every rumor that surrounds him carries far more weight than it otherwise might. This creates a fascinating tension between reality and perception, one that fans cannot resist analyzing from every possible angle. As the rumor enters its latest phase, the conversation gradually shifts toward understanding the human side of Drake May, emphasizing the emotional burden placed on someone navigating enormous expectations at such a young age. Fans and analysts begin discussing the psychological roller coaster that comes with being the face of a rebuilding franchise, where every mistake, gesture, or comment becomes magnified by 1,000 curious eyes. In this context, the rumored phrase becomes less an accusation and more an expression of internal conflict, a moment where pressure may have momentarily outweighed composure. Supporters who feel protective of Drake may frame the story as a reminder that even the most talented athletes are human, susceptible to frustration, exhaustion, and emotional vulnerability. This perspective softens the rumor's tone, turning it from a dramatic controversy into a relatable moment shared by anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed by responsibility. The narrative becomes more compassionate, focusing on growth, resilience, and the complex emotional journey of leadership. And as fans rally around this interpretation, the rumor evolves once again, transforming from a spark of drama into a touching reminder of the humanity underlying every headline. As the story reaches its current point, the rumor has solidified itself as one of the most captivating and multi-layered narratives circulating within sports culture. It began as a whispered comment, exploded into controversy, expanded into symbolic interpretation, and eventually settled into a reflection of emotional truth. Whether Drake may truly said the phrase, or whether it was born from miscommunication or creative exaggeration, its impact cannot be denied. It has sparked conversations about leadership, legacy, identity, emotion, and the evolving culture of the New England Patriots. It has united fans in curiosity, divided them in interpretation, and inspired them to engage with a story that feels larger than life. And because rumors thrive in the spaces between facts, This one will continue to float through conversations, podcasts, and late-night debates for quite some time. What matters now is not the literal truth behind the comment, but the emotional narrative it created, one that reflects the complexities of a team searching for direction and a young quarterback stepping boldly into a future filled with both challenge and possibility. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving fresh and exclusive Patriots news, make sure to subscribe and hit like. We always appreciate hearing your opinions in the comments. See you in the next one, Patriots Nation.